Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of our Parks of Kentucky series here at Villain ENT. Today, we're starting off talking about Jefferson Memorial Forest, specifically Tom Wallace Rec Center. There's a lot more to Jefferson Memorial Forest, though, so we're going to touch on every part of it when we can, probably as separate videos, but just stay tuned. We'll talk about it more here in a second. All right, and I guess now let's just kind of jump straight into it. So speaking on Jefferson Memorial Forest, there's definitely several parks located within. In this episode, we're going to be focusing mostly on Tom Wallace because I at least have a lot of memories there, and I know you've been there a few times. Like, it's a pretty cool little spot. So, but before we even get into that, let's just go ahead and give a little brief overview of Jefferson Memorial as a whole. Is that cool?
That's a plan.
All right. So, Jefferson Memorial Forest is a woodland tribute area to veterans and treasure to all who visit. The forest has approximately 6,600 acres of steep slopes covered with mature second-growth hardwood trees and spans nearly 10 miles from east to west, ribboned with scenic trails and small streams. Kind of going beyond that, located in southwest Louisville, Kentucky, of course, in the Knobs region of Kentucky, it's the largest municipal forest or municipal urban forest in the United States. And I think that's kind of huge, which to define an urban forest is a forest or collection of trees that grow within a city, town, or a suburb. So in a wider sense, it may include any kind of woody plant vegetation growth in and around human settlements, as opposed to a forest park whose ecosystems are also inherited from wilderness leftovers. Urban forests often lack amenities like public bathrooms, paved paths, and sometimes clear borders, which are distinct features of parks. So Jefferson Memorial Forest really is a forest. I mean, you'll see in our videos today, right, that there's no paved paths. Other than the road to like get to a specific drop-off point almost, it's really not a paved path. It's dirt, gravel, streams. So it's cool. Jefferson Memorial Forest as a whole does have several areas kind of that you can visit. There's the Welcome Center, which has trail maps. There's a gift shop, restrooms, talking about upcoming events and like some amenities available. There's a reservation that you can camp on. It's kind of a campground. It's popular for car camping, it said. And it's some pretty moderate to strenuous trails.
They had zip lines at one point. I don't know if I think they're closed right now, but I think they're planning on bringing them back.
That'd be cool. I knew there was some somewhere in Louisville. I didn't know if that was them or that was here, but Tom Wallace Recreation Area, which we're going to talk about in more detail today, and Paul Yost Recreation Area, and then Scotts Gap section. So at some point we do hope to cover all of these things, but as just an intro, we went with Tom Wallace. So I guess, are you ready to get started on that?
Yup.
All right, so as we usually do in these videos, there's a little bit of a drive in. I think it's cool to, show exactly kind of what to expect as you head that way and try to actually find these places. So, if you follow just kind of like Google directions, you'll start to get to this point and you can start seeing the signs for, different parks and stuff. And then we kept going this way to actually get to Tom Wallace. And I think the Welcome Center is right across from Tom Wallace, isn't it?
Right. Well, and that's where the zip lines are. That's what I was talking about. There's, I guess that isn't at Tom Wallace, but yep, right across.
They're literally like right across the street from each other, I think. Right here. Right coming up. It's definitely a pretty scenic drive, so right here is exactly where I was talking about, though. I think left here is the Welcome Center, right?
Yep.
And then you go right and you head towards Tom Wallace. Now, first we pull in here to the left, and it's kind of just the start of some trails. The actual Tom Wallace Rec Center with the pond and everything is further up, and we got some footage of that to come up later. So we kind of pull in here and just get parked. And then we decided, if you noticed pulling in there on the left, we decided to kind of start our path or our walk along that way because of, and I apologize for the camera. I know it's pretty bad, but I got some settings to work on. But there is electric charging for cars right here.
Right, so if you have an electric car, definitely get some charge up there.
Yeah, might as well. If you're going to be parked there anyways, you can get some charge. And so then there's this little trail here, and it kind of just wraps around, the Silverstone Trail. And then there's some facts about actual electric vehicles in Kentucky. So pretty cool.
We didn't really have an idea where the trail was leading. We were just kind of winging it.
Yeah, exactly. We just kind of like walked along and then kept going. And once we got to the end, we realized, hey, we're just right around the other side of the parking lot that we started at, right?
We did like a 5-minute hike and just ended up at the end of the parking lot.
We could have just drove a little further, but we did want to talk about the electric vehicle charging station and call that out because that is something that's getting big in the world, and there's not always a lot of places to charge. So we just decided to take that little extra walk anyways, I guess. It was fun, though. And if you keep going, there's this little bridge here, a little creek. And then those stairs on the right, I think those stairs on the right actually start taking you towards Tom Wallace if you wanted to walk there from this lower point.
Right, there's a little trail, and if you keep following it, then you'll end up at the other side of the pond.
Yeah. But what we decided to do instead was just follow the creek. Seemed fun. So.
And it wasn't too high up this time. It can get,
it wasn't very deep. Full.
You can see where the water's been higher up before.
Yeah, you can see like the erosion and the slate and stuff. But it was fun. I had fun doing it, at least.
Yep, definitely one of my favorite parts about the park. Just playing in that creek.
Yeah, we found all kinds of stuff back there. Like, to me, that looked like almost an old chimney or something. I think at one point we saw like a distributor cap for a car, maybe. So people definitely dump things back there that they shouldn't. But a little bit of, I guess, urban forest exploration.
Right, definitely. Especially because at the end where we kind of turned around because that's where it looked like there was a little bit of construction and it looked like it was more like people's property.
Yes, there was like an RV there and stuff, and we just wanted to be respectful. I don't know if we got a video of that. Yeah, we didn't get a video of that specifically, but exactly. But yeah, you can definitely tell that this whole thing's been filled up a lot higher than it was when we were there that day. which is kind of crazy because we were there on a pretty rainy day. Not rainy, but I think it had rained earlier. So that was pretty fun. So we just kind of explored through there a little bit. And then we got back in the car. And let me see. Is that the right video? I don't know if that's the right one.
So now we're going towards the pond.
Yes, exactly.
One thing, there is a lot of, animals there too, a lot of wilderness. I remember one time I went there, I saw a deer. I saw a couple deer, like a chipmunk, a groundhog. Like I saw a couple like really cool birds too. I saw like so many different species, like a crow.
Oh yeah,
vulture. It was fun.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff to see. And this is just when we left that little parking lot, we just turned left out of it, the exact same place we had started from. But there's actually equine trails at Jefferson Memorial.
What is it?
Horse trails.
Oh.
Equine. And so
I didn't know that.
I've been back here. I've parked back
right
here
before.
Here. And I've watched people riding horses coming down like off of this trail right up here on the right. And I've actually seen people, like I said, like just walking out of these places on horseback. So pretty cool. And then let me find exactly where the videos are for when we got to there, but yeah, you get there. Now there were people playing, there were kids playing at the little playground there, so we didn't film that, of course. So we parked right around here, which is by the trails that we had mentioned before. Right up there. Yeah, so horse riders, please clean up after your horse and avoid riding in wet conditions. And then there's hikers instructions too, but it's part of the Purple Heart Trail for Jefferson Memorial Forest. So they even say for hikers, like if you encounter a horse, like don't, no abrupt movements, like don't startle them. Because it could get dangerous for someone on horseback, like if the horse gets startled, so... Just something to watch out for. I've only encountered it once or twice, like in all the times I was up there. You can see that there's definitely some people who go up there and might do some donuts at nighttime in whatever vehicle they might be in. But once you walk towards that way, kind of where you drive into it at, I didn't realize the camera was sideways there, but once you just kind of head that way, you head towards the right, and we start getting towards the pond area. And it's a pretty cool spot. It's known for being a spot where you can kind of escape from the city while still being in the city.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's that big. The forest as a whole, not necessarily Tom Wallace, but the forest as a whole has enough places in it where you can kind of escape from the city while still being in the city.
Well, and it's cool because you can go fishing. I know a lot of places.
Yep.
A lot of lakes and ponds aren't really kept up always, and sometimes you got to worry about getting your line snagged or something like that, where this is, really kept up really good to where, you can cast all day and don't have to worry about, ripping a line or anything.
Right.
And they keep it stocked with fish all the time.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool spot. And I mean, it stretches pretty far. You can walk all the way to that other side too. And it really is just kind of like being in the wilderness in the heart of Southwest Louisville. So it's a fun time. And right there to the right of where we're standing on this little dock or whatever you want to call it, on the shore, on the far shore to the right, there is a little playground for kids and stuff, right? Like there's a little family picnic area type thing. Like we said, there were people there, which is why we didn't actually capture any of that. But it's a fun place and highly recommended, at least from me.
Yeah, awesome trails, great pond.
Yeah,
definitely go there a lot.
And then you can definitely get lost just driving through the place.
But it's one of those places, like, you know, sometimes when you get lost, you get frustrated or, you know, anxious or something.
No, it was fine.
Right. Like, it's one of those places you don't get frustrated if you get upset. You just kind of enjoy the ride. And
we left there, and we left Tom Wallace and turned right to go deeper into the forest. And then we just kind of drove, picked directions, and ended up, like, all the way off Dixie. But it was okay.
Which was funny because we thought we was going to head out towards Fairdale. Right?
Yeah.
Like, we thought we were pulling
That's
up
where we were hoping we were going.
But,
yeah.
But still a great trip.
It was fun. I love Tom Wallace, and we got shows coming up on the other places that we mentioned within Jefferson Memorial Forest as well. So it's always a good time. We just enjoy doing these little series, or at least I do. I can't speak for Jack, but
it's okay. No, I love going to the park.
So anyways, I guess that's all I really had. You got anything else to talk about?
No, that's it. I really enjoy going, you know, Tom Wallace, Jefferson Memorial, definitely one of my favorite parks.
So I guess just look forward to our upcoming episodes on the rest of Jefferson Memorial, talking about those various places that we mentioned, from the Welcome Center to Paul Yost to the Knob Gap or whatever it was out there.
Scott Gap.
Scott's Gap. Sorry. Yeah, that one. So yeah,
it's in Knob, Kentucky, right?
Yeah, exactly. Kentucky, that was
that's
it.
What
yeah,
was. I knew you.
So either way, we got episodes coming up on all those aspects of Jefferson Memorial Forest as well. So just stay tuned, and we look forward to talking to you about those as well.
See y'all next time.
See you next time.